Dear student and parent, welcome to the Testprepkart channel. This video is going to be about the SAT exam syllabus, and I will be running you through the different aspects of the components of the SAT with regard to the syllabus. So what is SAT exam syllabus? So the SAT exam syllabus 2021 has a total of 3 sections and an optional section. So your 3 main sections are the SAT syllabus for reading, writing and language, math. There is an optional essay writing section as well. Thus, the subjects in SAT are reading comprehension, writing, and math. So in this video, I will be running you about the syllabus for each of these sections, the type of questions in SAT, and much more. Keep watching. So with regard to your SAT syllabus update, there have been several updates in the SAT exam ever since the pandemic. Let me run you through. Number 1, the optional SAT essay has been discontinued. So that's a good news. The essay has been discontinued. SAT essay has been discontinued by the College Board. Only students who take up the exam till June 2021 can attempt it. So it's done with. Post June 2021, the optional essay is available only in the United States, where it is required by SAT School Day Administration. Only under this specific condition. Otherwise, the SAT essay has been discontinued. So this is one big news. Next, the SAT subject tests have been discontinued in the US. So subject tests will no longer be needed for the US students. So if you had registered, you would have been refunded that by now already. So for international students, now 2 administration tests will be provided in May, June. If you do not wish to take, you can apply for cancellation and refund. I guess this is redundant because this phase is over. You will no longer be doing the SAT essay or the subject tests. So now let's come to our base tests that you will be encountering. So an SAT exam is a standardized test that helps universities examine where a candidate stands in a more objective manner. So the test is a good criterion for universities and examiners to figure out how well prepared you are for college, as well as get a better idea about the skills you have developed in school. So talking about your general test, now it is taken by students wanting to get admission into undergraduate programs. So your SAT general test aims to evaluate you on your written, verbal, and mathematical skills, as the name suggests. So it is a general test assessing your general knowledge as well as critical reasoning. Now that you're familiarized with the paper pattern for this exam, let me run you through the reading, writing, the mathematics section, and essay to a certain extent, because some colleges or universities may ask for it, right? Otherwise, the essay has been discontinued. Starting with the SAT reading, comprising of reading comprehension, every passage under this section has either 10 or 11 questions. You have a total of 5 passages of varying lengths. This section aims to evaluate your ability to comprehend written text understand the meaning of words in different contexts, as well as their associated terms with implied meaning. Next is your SAT writing. You have 4 passages with again 10 to 11 questions each. Here you are expected to find the errors. That's 1. 2, rephrase and rewrite highlighted sentences with alternative text amongst the others. It focuses on assessing understanding of a candidate's vocabulary and grammatical range. The SAT math. It is constituted of 2 subsections divided into the 25-minute section, provided with no calculator, and 55-minute section with a calculator. In total, you have 58 questions spread across varied basics of mathematics, such as algebra, statistics, geometry, arithmetic, probability, data interpretation, and problem-solving questions. Talking about your SAT essay, which is optional in very few colleges. Now, this aims to analyze your capacity of writing as well as English comprehension. So you have to write an essay of 650 or 700 words, focusing on an issue and asking what, and determining what stance you take here. Make sure you keep your analysis limited to the given data with precise explanation. Do not elaborate upon in detail. So this is, again, like I said, only for specific colleges and universities. Otherwise, the SAT essay has been dropped. Let's come to the SAT writing syllabus. So the questions in the section of your SAT syllabus will test your evidence-based reading and writing skills. In this section, your writing and reading abilities are tested. The topics for the articles or write-ups are mainly centered on generic topics that do not necessitate that you have prior knowledge of the subject matter. In fact, certain passages have supplementary graphs and charts and maps to assess your imperative skills. So the exam pattern for your writing, you have to attend 44 multiple choice questions in 4 passages in 35 minutes. You need to edit these passages. Now, one of the following modes of writing will be present in the exam out of the narrative: argumentative and informative or explanatory. The passages revolved around topics like humanities, science, careers, history and art, social sciences. Now, the type of questions that you can have in your SAT writing are, you will be expected to answer certain questions pertaining to the passages. Some of the examples, questions asked in writing sections are like your sentence structure, verb tense, punctuation, parallel structures, grammar usage, subject-verb agreement. Next, strengthen or weaken the argument. Next, the word choice for style, text, or tone. Next, structural changes to improve readability. Talking about the SAT reading section syllabus, now this focuses on evidence-based reading and writing. This will focus on your reading abilities. The pattern would be, you will have 52 multiple choices in 5 passages. Time allotted 65 minutes. And the choice of passages, content, science fields. 2 passages will be related to science fields. 1 literary passage will be from classics or contemporary texts of the US or world literature. Next, texts from the US founding documents or great global conversations on topics like dignity, human rights, freedom, etc. Next, extracts from economics, sociology, psychology, amongst others. So you must answer questions by telling a story, giving an argument, or explaining an experiment or study. So the type of questions that you encounter in your reading comprehension, the function a phrase serves in the passage, the tone, style, perspective, and attitude of the author, analyzing data on the basis of diagrams, charts, and graphs, the central theme or main idea of the passage, inference of a passage or phrase in a paragraph, arguments of evidence that supports the author's stance. So they are all correlated. You need to understand if you are opting for an option, you need to justify why you have chosen that particular option as the right one. And useful understanding or some useful tips. The format of the exam does not expect prior knowledge of the passage. Please remember this. Topics will be given, not necessary that you have any understanding of what they are, but with constant practice, you definitely will gain an edge over it. You will have a familiarity in answering and reading the writing sections of the SAT more effectively, provided you practice more and more of such exercises. Moving on to the SAT math syllabus. Majority of the students fear the mathematics section of any competitive exam for that matter. But if you have a fair idea of what this part of the SAT exam syllabus comprises of, then you will be able to prepare for it in an effective manner. The mathematics section is divided into 2 parts. One with a calculator and another where the student needs to solve without a calculator. The pattern for your math exam, the math exam comprises of 2 sections, with calculator, without calculator. You need to attempt a total of 58 questions in 80 minutes. 80% of questions are multiple choice, while 20% of them are grid-ins. For maths with a calculator, you have 30 MCQs and 8 grid-in questions. You need to enter your derived answers in the bubble sheet you are provided. Math with calculator has 15 multiple choice questions, 5 grid-in questions. You will be given a set of formulas and references at the beginning of the test. If you're applying for courses in science, engineering, or math, pay special attention to math without calculator section. Now, the type of questions that you can encounter in your SAT math: first, algebra, graphical representation of linear functions, linear equations with rational coefficients, linear inequalities in 2 variables and their systems, system of linear equations with no solution, infinite or finite solutions. Next, data analysis and problem solving. Here you can encounter percentages, ratio and proportion, unit conversion, equation of line or curve using this scatter plot, two-way tables to calculate conditional frequencies and conditional probabilities, association of variables or independence of events, estimation of a population parameter, calculation of mean, median, mode, range, and standard deviations in statistics, evaluation of reports to check the appropriateness of data collection methods. For your advanced math, the topics that you would need to be prepared with: quadratic equations with rational coefficients, determining the form of an expression, polynomial equations, subtraction, multiplication, addition, and division, zeros and factors of polynomials, nonlinear relationship between two variables, function notation, isolation of a variable by rearrangement of formula or equation. Useful tips that you can keep in mind: the only way to ace the math section is through consistent practice of any and every topic mentioned in the syllabus. Since math is based heavily on practical knowledge, it is important that your basics of the concepts are absolutely clear. Talking about your SAT Math 2 syllabus. Topic number 1, number and operations. Here, work on operations, ratio and proportion, complex numbers, counting, elementary number theory, matrices, sequences, series, vectors. Next, algebra and functions. Expressions, equations, inequalities, representation and modeling, properties of functions. In this, linear, polynomial, rational, exponential, logarithmic, trigonometric, inverse trigonometric, periodic, piecewise, recursive, parametric. So these are all aspects in your properties of functions. As we move on to geometry and measurement, coordinate, lines, parabolas, circles, ellipses, hyperbolas, symmetry, transformations, polar coordinates. Talking about three-dimensional solids, surface area and volume, cylinders, cones, pyramids, spheres, prisms, coordinates in 3 dimensions. In trigonometry, right triangles, identities, radian measures, law of cosines, law of sines, equations, double angle formulas. So what is the difference between SAT Mathematics Level 1 and Level 2? The major difference between SAT Mathematics Level 1 and Level 2 exams is that Level 1 contains topics like algebraic expressions, coordinate geometry, data analysis, and number sequences. However, with your Level 2 math includes all these topics along with logarithmic functions and law of cosines and sines. Both exams have 50 questions that need to be finished in 60 minutes. Like I told you, the SAT essay is withdrawn, so there's no point in going over it. SAT exam syllabus for medical. Now it is the same, even if you're appearing for the medical. It is the same as the syllabus for the courses as explained till this point. I hope you found the information informative. Yes, undoubtedly tedious and very long, but until and unless you acquaint yourself with the topics mentioned, in the pattern mentioned, you would find it challenging to attempt the SAT. If you have any further doubts or clarifications, do comment below or connect with us on the link in the description. Do subscribe to our channel to keep yourself posted with the latest topics. Thank you.